afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live around the world on Facebook, on twitch.tv, on Mixer and on YouTube. While we're getting everything set up, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Runs and Rides YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun, on Twitter at filmmyrun, and you can also go to the website, which is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax and watch me do all the hard work. I've got a problem because my avatar isn't running on my new foot pod. I'm in trouble, I think. I've got no kilometre marker at all. I'm going to have to go to the menu and pair a different foot pod, I think. Right at the beginning of the run, and then I'm going to have to catch up with everybody on. Mind you, it says 8 kilometres an hour. That's too slow, isn't it? That's not right. Unpair, search, Garmin. That's more like it. Let's do that. Away we go. Right, so the news is that I've got this Garmin foot pod, which I normally use, and I've got a stride foot pod, which I have only just got, but I've not calibrated. Now, the stride foot pod has just told me I'm running at 8 kilometres an hour. The treadmill says I'm running at 9 kilometres an hour. My watch, linked to my Garmin foot pod, says I'm running about 9.7, 9.8. And so does Zwift. So I've gone with the fastest option, but I honestly think that's the more accurate option, and that's what it feels like as well. I feel like I'm running at about 10k an hour, but I'll do some more testing. So we're starting off this run at 10 kilometres an hour. This is the biggest ever group run on Zwift. There are over 100 people taking part this morning. I am watching Facebook chat, so if you want to say hi on Facebook, by all means do. Just get it up actually, because I'm not watching it at the moment, but I will be very shortly. And Paul Downs is already on, says he needs a treadmill in his life. You do, Paul. So I'll keep an eye on that. If you want to ask a question, you want to just say hi, I can see Facebook chat now. So 10 kilometres an hour is about 6 minutes per kilometre. We're going to do that for the first kilometre, and then some of us are going to speed up, some of us are going to stay at the same pace. Yeah, I've been sent this Stride foot pod, but today literally is the first time I'm going to use it, and I immediately don't trust the pace that it's showing me. So I think we'll go with the Garmin today, but we have got another run later on this afternoon. Another live run. Thanks for the ride on, Ollie. Another live run at 4 o'clock this afternoon, UK time. So I'll try and use the Stride foot pod then and see how it goes. I might go for a little run outside. Morning, John. Thank you for the ride on. I might go and run outside with it on and see what it says. And then, thanks for the ride on, Kajono. Huge group of runners today. Most I've ever seen. So, Tim, our group leader, is going to do 12.5 kilometres per hour after the first kilometre. So I shall speed up with him and do that. In fact, I better speed up in a second because I'm already behind the A group. You can see on the right hand side of the screen there, next to everybody's name is a little letter and a colour. So my name has an A next to it in a red circle, and there's group C and group D, and the greens are group B. So if I just speed up a bit, you can see just up ahead there is a yellow beacon in the air spinning around. That is our group run leader, Tim, and I will see him because I'm in group A, but group B will see their own run leader. So you can see Tim's name on the right there with the little yellow beacon beside it, and there is the torch to heaven. I'm the guy in the white with the white cap. That's my avatar. Right, I'm going to speed up a bit. There's Tim just ahead, so I'll just... Yeah. So we're now at 1 kilometre and we're speeding up to 12.5 kilometres an hour, approximately. Facebook chat if you're watching, guys. Good morning, welcome to Sunday morning running on Zwift. Welcome to the biggest group run that's ever been staged on Zwift. If you want to ask a question, if this is something you've never seen before, go ahead. Just post a question in Facebook. You'll be able to see it. Ruth Goddard says she didn't know this existed. But there you go, Ruth. Is that Rufus or Ruth as in R-U-T-H? Or Rufus, R-U-F-U-S? Claire says, how can I talk and run? Ruth says again, hello Ruth. Ruth says, do I use a foot pod? Yes. I was just saying at the very beginning, I've got 2 foot pods on at the moment because I'm testing a new one out. But I'm just wearing the standard Garmin foot pod. So it's about 40 to 50 pounds on Amazon. And it generally outdoors, it measures your cadence. And say you're running a race or doing a run and you went through a tunnel, obviously your watch can't pick up GPS through the middle of a tunnel. So a foot pod would take over and measure your speed, your cadence, your distance via your steps on the ground. And it learns your steps on the ground because when you are outdoors, it measures it against GPS. So it knows your stride length, it knows how fast and how far you've run in the past. That is all calibrated on your watch, and so it gives a fairly accurate representation of your run. So we use a foot pod indoors on a treadmill to gauge how far and how fast we're running. The foot pod links, thanks for the ride on Vanna, the foot pod links to a little USB dongle that plugs into my computer, and then the computer runs the software called Zwift, Z-W-I-F-T. And that's it really. You can get different kinds of foot pod. So you can get a Bluetooth foot pod if you wanted to run at a gym, on a treadmill in the gym with your iPhone or your iPad. You can take a Bluetooth foot pod along and download the Zwift app onto your phone, and you can run that way. A Garmin foot pod will not connect to your iPhone. Tim says, is the pace okay? Seems to be alright at the moment. And Claire, yes, it can be difficult to talk and run at the same time. Sometimes when I'm going a little bit faster, you'll find that I shut up. You'll also find, if you look on the top left of the screen, that's my heart rate. So I'm wearing a heart rate monitor there. My watch has also got a heart rate monitor on it. Anyway, I can see how hard I'm working by the heart rate on the left there. So at the moment you can see it's yellow, 152 beats per minute. That's zone 3. Zone 3 is right in the middle. That means I'm working relatively hard, but not killing myself. The more I talk, the more my heart rate will increase. And actually, if I was to be quiet, my heart rate would probably drop down a few points. If you go and do park run on a Saturday morning, if that's something you do, you should really be running with a heart rate in that orange zone, zone 4, which is threshold. And even if you're going really, really hard, you'll hit zone 5, which is anaerobic zone. That's a heart rate of over 170, 175, nearing your max, which is probably around 180. So, the B group are mixed in and around the A group here, and then the D group and the C group are a bit further behind. They haven't sped up quite as much as we have. Thank you, Chris. Krista Holt there, saying ride on. So a ride on is like kudos in Strava. Kind of, just well done, good to see you, nice work kind of thing. I'm going to just slow down a little bit. I'm going a bit fast, aren't I? Just a little bit fast. Tim with the beacon is just behind me. He's in the yellow shirt with the orange shorts. There's also a lady in a yellow shirt and orange shorts. That's Carla. She's in Group B, but she's going fairly speedy for Group B. I see we're in the middle of a volcano. This is the imaginary island of Watopia. And it's Zwift's playground. So when they're programming, they don't have to copy exactly a real world course. They can let their imagination run wild and program pretty much anything they want. Okay, Ruth says again, can you simulate hills? No, is the short answer to that. So you can see there's a lot of cyclists going past. Zwift was originally created for cyclists. And with cycling, you can get something called a smart trainer. The smart trainer, thanks for the ride on De Bruyne. Smart trainer, when you go up a hill, because it's connected to the computer, the resistance will change on the bike. So it feels like you're going up a hill. And it does that automatically. With running, that hasn't been developed yet. There are treadmills that will connect direct to Zwift, so you don't need a foot pod. Just the treadmill itself connects direct. But Zwift as yet doesn't support incline. It doesn't support automatic incline. A few issues about it, safety issues and things like that. So not yet, but the thing is, Zwift is not officially released to the public in terms of running yet. It's been around for about 3 years, but running has only appeared kind of secretly in the past year, and it's only now that it's starting to get more public attention, and they will be releasing it publicly very soon. It is available publicly, I mean you can just go on, but if you go onto the Zwift website you won't see anything about running yet. It's all cycling. So give it time and these things will come. Chris Foster asks, how many in the event today? Well, there were 111 signed up across the various 4 groups. So I don't know if all those turned up, I doubt it, but certainly this is the largest group run on Zwift so far. Sometimes we've had about 30. Thanks for the ride on, Tangvik. See the name Tara Langdon there, just popping up. Don't know if you can see that. Many moons ago, back when Zwift running first started, I ran a marathon on Zwift. If you search on my YouTube channel, if you search for Film My Run on YouTube, and if you look for Zwift Marathon, December 2016, I ran a marathon on Zwift, and I thought that was pretty good. And since then, quite a few people have done marathons on Zwift, and one person's done a 50-kilometre run on Zwift, or 2 people have done that. But about a week ago, a lady by the name of Tara Langdon ran in 24 hours 160 miles. 160 miles on a treadmill in 24 hours. And it has been verified. We've checked her out. You know, we runners, we're a cynical bunch. And when somebody announces they've run 160 miles on a treadmill, your ears prick up and you start to ask questions. So we did check her out. She is legit. She has run other 24-hour races before in the real world, and she's covered 130 miles in 24 hours in a real world race. Some people find running on a treadmill faster and easier, so it's perfectly possible that she could run 160. And the other thing is, the entire run is on video. So if you search for Tara Langdon, and search for her YouTube charity 24-hour run, the whole 24 hours was streamed live on YouTube.
If you are interested in running on Zwift, then you do need a few things. First and foremost, access to a treadmill. You may have your own, you may need to go to a gym, but it doesn't matter what kind of treadmill you use. Secondly, if you are on a Mac or a PC, you will need a foot pod, and that foot pod needs to be an Ant Plus foot pod. It needs to broadcast in Ant Plus. You will also need a USB stick to plug into your computer or Mac, and that will receive the signal from your Ant Plus foot pod. If you're using an iOS device, it could be an iPad, an iPhone, or even Apple TV, then you will need a Bluetooth foot pod, specifically a smart Bluetooth foot pod. You can get them from Polar, you can get a Stride, or you can get a Milestone foot pod. These all connect direct to your iOS device, so there's no need for anything extra. And that really is all you need to run on Zwift. So get that foot pod, get access to a treadmill, and we'll see you on Zwift very soon.
Okay, I'm kind of at the back of the A group, trying to keep it relatively steady. See those big blue thumbs that are dropping down from the sky? That's ride-ons being given out. Thanks Jens Conradi for the ride-on. Cheers buddy. Thanks Togfist. So, I am currently running at 12.2 kilometers an hour. Maybe need to speed up a little bit. My watch says the same, so that's good. Both Zwift and my watch are reading from the same foot pod, but they're both applying a calibration factor after the event. So Zwift, the Garmin foot pod sends out raw data, and then Zwift applies its own calibration to make sure I'm going at the right pace, and so does my watch. And thankfully, both of them seem to be in line with each other. So I'm pleased about that, but I'll have to do some work to find out about this Stride foot pod, which is supposed to be the most accurate foot pod you can get, but I certainly wasn't happy with the pace it was giving me initially. So we'll have to see. Some more investigation required, I think. If you are interested watching Zwift running, we've got another event at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Another live stream, another big group run, probably not quite as big as this one, but certainly there'll be a few people involved. The reason this is happening is because Zwift are trying to promote running to the masses now, and so this event is being filmed by Zwift to use as promotion for Zwift running. So if you start to see videos appearing on your Facebook timeline of runners on a volcanic island, that's us, and that's this run, and the run this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Kerry Jones says she's running all on her own. Have you got... She might have internet problems. Keep running, Kerry. The screen might populate with runners any minute, you never know. Sometimes when you're running on Zwift, if your internet connection drops, you can still run, but all the other people disappear. Because obviously they're all real people connected to the internet. And so you've got to have an internet connection to see everybody. So you can find that sometimes you run on your own. I mean, it very, very rarely happens. Occasionally. And of course, you would then disappear for everybody else as well. The run is a 10k run this morning, so we're nearly halfway through. I don't know if we're going to speed up at all. I'm quite happy at this pace actually. This is why I know that other foot pod I just tried was wrong, because I run often enough in the real world to know what it feels like to run a certain pace. And I definitely know that I'm running around about 12 kilometers an hour. See the mountains up there? You can climb up those mountains, or run up them, or ride up them, and get to the very top. Okay, we're just going to slow down a little bit. Apparently, the B group want to catch up with us. So we're over halfway, just taking it a little bit easier, maybe for a kilometre or so. I'm actually in my shed in the back garden. My wife has gone running on the real hills. My two kids are watching TV with strict instructions to behave themselves. And I'm down the bottom of the garden in the shed where I have my bike trainer and my treadmill. And a few tools like the Flymo that you see behind me. Chris, I don't know, I'm sorry. Chris asks if tonight's run at 4 o'clock is 5 or 10k. And, you know, I don't know, I'm sorry, I haven't checked. But, if you look on the mobile app, so if you download Zwift mobile app, it's called the Mobile Link. There are two Zwift apps. One is the Zwift actual running app, and one is the Mobile Link. One is blue, one is orange. So download the Mobile Link. In there you'll see Zwift events. Click on events and look at 4 o'clock this afternoon and it'll tell you all about it. You might need to filter for running because there are an awful lot of cycling events around. I suppose I could check for you now. It's 10k, 4 p.m. 10k. You've already checked, Chris. I've got sweat coming out my ears into my headphones. Okay, so I'm working quite hard now. 9 minutes I've spent in zone 4. You can see it might be quite small on your screen, but in the little orange square it says the number 9. And see, there I've just ticked over into the orange square, the orange zone again. Zone 4, threshold zone. 10 minutes running in that zone now. So working a bit harder with just over 4k to go. It's not cold today. It's quite mild outside. So that might be contributing to the amount of sweat that's coming off us all today. So I'm sticking quite well to young Timothy. Say young. You go and look up Tim Gross on Power of 10. See his pedigree. See what he's done. He's an old man like me now, but by gum, he can run fast. Tim actually runs Power of 10. If you like looking at stats, you might know about runbritainrankings.com or powerof10.info. Go and have a look at those databases. Type your name in and you'll see some of the runs that you will have done. Marathons, half marathons, 10Ks, 5Ks, track events, all listed there as long as they were licensed by UK Athletics. There are plenty that aren't, of course. As well as ultra runner Tara Langdon, who ran that 160 miles. We've recently been joined on Zwift by Steve Way. You may know Steve Way. Very well known British ultra and marathon runner. Marathon time at the London Marathon of around about 2:15. And has run for Great Britain. He's represented Great Britain at the Commonwealth Games and for the British 100 kilometre World Championship team. So very well known, respected runner. He's now on Zwift. He's not running with us today. He might this afternoon, I don't know. If you've got a question, if you've never seen Zwift before, type into Facebook chat. I'm watching Facebook chat, I can see your questions. See all the countries represented there: Norway, Australia, the USA, UK, Sweden, Canada. All over the world, people are running and riding on Zwift. There are hundreds of thousands of subscribers to Zwift, and at any one time you will generally get 3,000 to 5,000 people on Zwift at any one time, and those numbers are growing all the time. Of course, 80%, 90% of those are cyclists, but running is growing all the time. So, it looks like the B group have caught us up. John Hancock is leading the B group. John says hi, Tim. I had a very lazy morning. I think I got up about 8:10. Just had time to make the children's breakfast, make myself some coffee, and get out here. I've still not finished my coffee. Okay, so Tim says when we get to 7 kilometres, we speed up a little bit, pretty much 12.5. So 200 metres to go before we do that. So that's me in the green, in the white with the cap just ahead of Tim, who's got the beacon. There I am. Good looking chap that I am. With the sunglasses on as well. Biggest group run on Zwift so far. Over 100 entrants. Not sure exactly how many actually started, but certainly a lot of us. And the cyclists must be starting to worry now as they see more and more runners starting to take over their tarmac. Let's speed up a little bit now. Only a tiny touch. Yeah, Chris says he's certainly seen a lot of runners online this week, more than usual. Yeah, it's definitely growing, and there will be an announcement very soon, I think, from Zwift HQ about running. As soon as they've filmed today's 2 runs and edited a bit of an advert together, I think the next couple of weeks we'll definitely see Zwift starting to promote running further afield. There in the red, that's Tara Langdon on the left there in the red with the orange socks. Wonder how her legs have recovered. I should really give people a ride on, shouldn't I? I don't know if I can do it while I'm running. That is Tara's bum, look. That wasn't me, I did not do that. Look. It's automatic, I can't do anything about it. Alright, it's only pretend. Let's see if I can click onto anyone's name and give them a ride on. Oh, it's sweaty. My mouse won't work. No, I don't want to quit. Oh, I hate this. No! Oh, where's my mouse? See, it's honestly not worth it. Messing around like this. No, I'll do it at the end. It's too scary. I remember not long ago, I was trying to run another marathon on Zwift, and I got to 41 kilometres, so if you work in miles, that's literally about 25 and a half miles. So just a few hundred metres from the end of the run. And I touched something on the keyboard and the whole computer crashed. I did finish the marathon on the treadmill with my watch, but these days on Zwift you get marathon achievement awards or distance achievement awards. So if you run a 10k or a half marathon or a marathon, you get a little reward. And when I ran my marathon on Zwift, that was before that was in place. So I really wanted to get this marathon achievement badge, and yeah, I didn't get it. Never mind, I will do it again. So, little discrepancy on the screen. You can see the big numbers in the middle. It says 7.8, just about 7.8 kilometres run, but just below that it says 1.7 kilometres to the end. So maybe we're only doing 9.5k. Don't know. Okay. Tim says keep it at about keep it at 12.5 kilometres an hour till the end. I imagine what he's suggesting is if anybody wants to run off, they can. Jens Conradi is pushing the pace a little bit. Coming into the little harbour and the boardwalk. If you want to run up to the mountain, the top of the mountain, you go along this boardwalk and turn up the bridge. That's a good view, I like that. Heart rate is 157. Steps per minute 178. We're running at about 4 minutes 40 odd per kilometre. Right, so Brit asks if she goes and joins a 5 kilometre group run today, but she actually wants to run 15.
If you are interested in running on Zwift, then you do need a few things. First and foremost, access to a treadmill. You may have your own, you may need to go to a gym, but it doesn't matter what kind of treadmill you use. Secondly, if you are on a Mac or a PC, you will need a foot pod, and that foot pod needs to be an Ant Plus foot pod. It needs to broadcast in Ant Plus. You will also need a USB stick to plug into your computer or Mac, and that will receive the signal from your Ant Plus foot pod. If you're using an iOS device, it could be an iPad, an iPhone, or even Apple TV, then you will need a Bluetooth foot pod, specifically a smart Bluetooth foot pod. You can get them from Polar, you can get a Stride, or you can get a Milestone foot pod. These all connect direct to your iOS device, so there's no need for anything extra. And that really is all you need to run on Zwift. So get that foot pod, get access to a treadmill, and we'll see you on Zwift very soon.
Okay, before my own advert interrupted me, I was telling Brit wants to do a 5 kilometre group run, and then she wants to carry on and do 10k more. And yes, that's perfectly possible. Brit, what will happen is you'll get to the end of the group run, a bit of ticker tape flies around and your result, and then it will automatically click back. It might go to the menu screen, but then just click back and you'll be left back at the normal running screen and you can carry on your run. Not a problem at all. In fact, if you watch to the end of this, you'll see what happens. Now, according to the little line at the bottom of the screen there, or well, top of the screen, but it says 600 metres to go. So I imagine there's 600 metres to go. Was advertised as a 10k, but doesn't matter, does it? So let's just get to the end. Just speed it up a bit just to stretch the legs out. .400 metres to go, that's once round a running track. Strange. Well, maybe I have got further to go then. Tim says distance is okay for him. Oh, I don't know. We'll see what happens in 300 metres, won't we? It's exciting. What's going to happen? Is it going to be the end of the run? Or will I have another 500 metres to go? See, heart rate's gone up to 167 now. Working hard. Well, this will be interesting. Let's see. Everyone else seems to have 500 metres left. Says 0. No, we're carrying on. So, I don't know what that's all about. Oh no, I have finished, look. Something wrong there. So I finished, apparently. And you can see, Brit, I'm just carrying on running. Even though the event has technically finished for me. But oddly, not done 10k. Brista's gone off like a shot. 330 per kilometre for the last 500 metres. It's the Hult. See C Hult from Norway there, running at crazy pace. And Olsen even faster. 3 minutes per kilometre. That's mad. So I don't know what happened there, but I seem to have finished the run 500 metres before everyone else at 9.5k. What? And now I've gone off on a different route to everyone else. Ha! Oh, I know why that is actually. I know why that is. A bit difficult to explain, but that's my fault. Well, we've finished the 10k. There we are. That's 10k done. Oh, gosh, that stopped very quick. Ah, the safety key fell out. Right. Okay, I wonder if I can turn around. Go back. Let's start. Very odd. I should be able to turn around if I press the key here. I think. There we are. So jog back. We're in the water now, in an underwater tunnel. And then we want to go that way. There's the junction up ahead. I don't know why I'm doing this, to be honest, because the run's over and I'm kind of only going back to join up with the rest of the other runners, really, seeing as I went off in a strange direction. What it is an automatic button press on my keyboard, which normally controls the camera angles, but in some cases it controls the direction of travel. Now, when you're in a race or a run, your direction of travel is automatic, so there's no option to go left or right because you're just on a course. But after the end of the run, there are buttons you can press to go left or right at certain junctions, and because I've got an automatic key press, it automatically sent me off to the wrong direction. Anyway, there we are. So 10k done. Haven't really caught up with any of the other runners, but that's okay. Keith, it probably does. Keith's saying about his treadmill not being able to go fast enough. Well, yeah, my old one only used to go up to 16 kilometers an hour. That is probably a bit too slow because there are races where, or there are workout sessions where you go doing like a 17 kilometer per hour interval and then drop back down again, then back up again. We've not run faster than 17 though yet. So, but you know, if you can get yourself a better treadmill, it's worth it. Right, now let's see if my mouse works. I've not been able to give anyone a ride on, have I? Because I've been faffing about too much. There's John Hancock down there, look. So well done to John. Oh, there we are. And well done to Tim. And Tolquist. Ride on to Tolquist. Tara Langdon. Tara's carrying on running, of course. She'll probably run another 400 kilometres. I don't know if Norregard ran. We'll give him a ride on as well. Formby's a cyclist. I've done Tolquist. Give Morris a ride on. That'll do for the time being. And Tim says, good stream, Stephen. Yeah, it is. It's warm, isn't it? I don't know what happened with the distance there, Tim. Anyway, there we are. Okay, guys, that's it. We'll be back this afternoon at 4 o'clock for another group run. 4 p.m. UK time. 4 p.m. UK time, back on Zwift for another group run. If you are running, get yourself into that mobile link and sign up. And we click end run. That's a little map of where we've run on the imaginary island. Click OK, and it asks me to save it to Strava. And that's where we're going to say goodbye. It's been an absolute pleasure, guys. If you're interested in running on Zwift, do have a look at the Zwift Runners page on Facebook, Zwift Runners on Facebook. Do also please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's the Film My Run YouTube channel. And these Zwift runs are on a YouTube channel called Zwift Runs and Rides if you want to go and have a look at that as well. Take care, guys. See you this afternoon. Bye.